Hello everyone and welcome back to Elise Little Things. I just wanted to give you all a big thank you for subscribing to my channel and for watching my video with my collaboration with Bentley House. It was a great collaboration and I'm very happy with how it turned out. It's been my best video so far. I actually didn't expect so many people to subscribe to Elise Little Things channel, and I'm really grateful for that. So for the new subscribers, I want to offer you all 25% discount in my Etsy shop at Elise Little Things as a thank you for subscribing to our channel. It truly means a lot to us. So I've put that in a link at the bottom of the description of this video. So you can just click on that to receive the discount for Elise Little Things shop. Also, the discount will end tomorrow, so hurry up and receive your discount. So guys, I just wanted to start off this live stream today by designing a drink dispenser. I haven't done many live streams for a while now, and I just have 2 live streams on my channel. But if you haven't watched my past live streams, then go ahead and give them a watch. I really wanted to try and fit into my schedule live streaming a lot so you guys can see the process of Zbrush design. I'm also still learning as it's a huge software and there's so many options, but it's a lot of fun to use, and I would like to do more designs where I'm not just finishing the project but just working on something rather than finishing it and the next day on a live stream, like a break, and do it in parts. So I'm just going to go ahead and start on Zbrush, and then if we have time I can add some colour to the design. So I'm just going to start off, and if you guys have any questions, you can just leave them in the comments section of the chat and I'll do my best to answer them while I'm sculpting. Also, if you guys like what I'm doing and would like to support me, you can take a look at my Buy Me a Coffee page, and I have different memberships on there that you can join. It's a really good way to support what I'm doing and to help me grow with designing on Zbrush. So let's get started with Zbrush then. So how is everyone today? I hope you're all doing well. Okay, so let's get started then. Okay, so I'm just going to start with the dispenser jar first. So I'm just going to do the size for this right now. And I'm thinking about doing 24mm in height of the dispenser. So what has everyone been up to? Anything great so far? Any plans for the weekend? Yeah, I just thought the discount thing would be a great way just to thank all my new subscribers that I have. And I'm trying to put a lot of new designs regular to the shop, trying to put a lot up every week. Okay. So now we'll use this, the Z Modeler tool, which is one of my favourite tools, because you can do so much with that. Because this is all the things you can do. You can close, you can bridge, you can delete, you can even extrude. By that I mean like you can extrude a piece out to create thickness. There's like so many options, and I'm still trying to learn it as well. So we'll create a different poly group, a different colour, so we can delete the middle. Insert multi-edge loops, which will help me create more lines on the design and interactive elevation. Which will help me create the shape if I want it out, or if I want it thinner to create a different kind of shape. I think I'll go with this shape. And you can use the transpose tool, which will bring the design out or in, just whatever way you prefer. But I think I will create more lines with multi-edge loops and interactive elevation, so I can have this coming in a bit, so I can get that kind of shape. And now I would put this as one poly group, so one colour, and maybe insert another line. The lines help with the shape to keep it like a hard surface, and if you want it a soft surface, you just basically delete the line, but the lines help to keep the shape together. So QMesh, poly all. So I want to move all the poly group, which is the one colour. So QMesh it out to create a thickness that I want for the jar. And we're looking for about 0.8 maybe to 1 mil. Because it's a miniature, it has to be a bit thicker. So that way for printing, it will actually print, it will work. Maybe a bit thinner. And all you do is just click on the surface and shift and just push it in if it's too thick. That way you can make it thinner. I think I like it like that actually. So now I will flatten the top. Right, so that's flattened. And we'll insert some lines to go at the top of this jar, so we can get the nice shape, the squared shape that we want at the top, because when I click dynamic, it makes it softer. But if I want to add a line, insert line at the top, and here I get that harder edge kind of look surface at the top that I want. So now I will insert one at the bottom, and insert a few down here so that way I have a nice finish to the bottom. Then maybe cut this in half just to check the thickness in between here, the thin side of the jar, which is fine. It's a bit thicker than what I normally would do. It would normally be 0.8, but I did it to 1.5, but it should be fine. Okay, so next we will then do the top, the lid. So we insert cylinder, I like using the cylinder 3D instead because I can add as much lines as I want and get different shapes from it, and it's just easier to work with. I love using the gizmo tool. This is the tool here that I'm using with all the options. It's really good actually because you can make it bigger, smaller, squeeze it, and you have so many options that you can click on here. You can bend the piece, move it, do all different things. There's so many options that you can actually use on Gizmo. Okay. So we want this covered in the jar. And we'll click solo just so I have this piece to look at. And then we'll insert line. And we'll polygroup the inside of this. It's a different object, so we can then use QMesh. You can either use QMesh or extrude, but for this option I would just use extrude, and this will just pull out the piece, the polygroup. We want to make this not as long because this is to sit inside of the jar, like that, inside it. And the reason why I'm doing this part is so that way the lid doesn't slide off the jar, so that way it's stable. And again, I would just insert a line for this one. Here. And here. So that would be get that edge. But you can see here that this is soft. So what we want to do is add more lines to this piece. We use multi-lines. So there we have a hard edge, so that way it can fit inside of the jar. I'll maybe make this a bit thinner, it's too thick. Just so that way it's sitting on the top and it's stable. You have to make sure everything's in the middle. Like, I mean, every time you design something on ZBrush, you have to make sure everything's centered in the middle, because if it's not, and you want to use symmetry, when you use the symmetry, there'll not be any symmetry at all. So when you move something this way, it'll go the opposite way that you want. So you have to make sure everything is centered in the middle for ZBrush. Usually I have a problem with that. So I always forget to put things in the middle. I always seem to move them. But I need to get in the habit of not doing that, obviously, because it will just affect the design, so can't do that. Want to add a line in here. We have this part, but also we need to make sure that it's not touching the inside of the jar. So we just use Alt and the top part, sorry, my voice. I always come very dry in my throat, so I have to make sure I'm drinking a lot. So we'll then Alt and press this green arrow to go in. Just so that way it's not touching the jar. Okay. It doesn't need to be as tapered as that, so I could probably go back and just mask this again and a bit more out. I'll check again, see if it's touching. It's really just all about tweaking the design, you know, and just going back and forth and fixing things. There we go. So guys, I'm also planning on doing some prop designs on my live streams too, like some prop masks, which I think would be quite cool to do. And I love taking inspiration from movies to come up with cool designs on Zbrush. Also, I'm open to ideas of what you guys think I should design for my future live streams. The more ideas actually, the better it is, as this will help me to make more popular videos that my viewers would like to watch. I just love getting inspiration from all around me, especially movies. And I would just say it's the biggest inspiration. And I love being able to 3D print the designs as a physical piece. There's just something about it that's really magical. And what's great as well is you can paint it too to make it more real. So yeah, my inspiration's mostly from movies and history, I would say as well. But the best part is 3D printing it, just to see it come to life. And then afterwards you can paint it, sand it, do whatever you really want to do with it and use it for your projects. Okay, so now we'll do the top of this lid. We'll do the handle. Okay, so we'll insert another cylinder. It's always good to quick save everything on Zbrush because sometimes Zbrush can crash and you can lose everything. So it's best to quick save it so that way you have backup of it being saved on Zbrush, so that way you can go back to your design. Okay, so where are we? There. Cylinder 3D. So I want to create a kind of nice shape here. So what we would use again is insert multi-edge loops and interactive elevation, just to get the shape that I would like for this. I think something like that would be quite nice. Also, you can mask it in reversing the mask, so that way you have the top, and then just using Gizmo to create it bigger, smaller, more up, down, flat even. But I want this a bit more round. So something like this I quite like. I want to try and get rid of this bit in the middle because, as you can see, I've got that roundness at the top, but I want to kind of get rid of that if I can, but if not, that's okay, because we're all learning here. I'm learning, and Zbrush is a really big software. There's so much you can do with it. There's not always just one way of doing things. There's many ways of doing things on Zbrush. So many options. It's not as bad. It's better. I'll polygroup this and select it. Then I will flatten this. Yeah, that's better. Maybe make this a bit out. Bit like that. Just have to make sure everything's centered in the middle. Okay, so now we will design the tap, the little handle thing that you can turn for the drink to come out. So we'll start with a cylinder again. Normally I start with cylinders. Sometimes you can start with a sphere, or you can start with a face. This is what it's called, or no, it's called a plane 3D. You can even start with that to create things, but I like working with primitive shapes. Where is it? Like that, basically. That's a shape, a plane 3D, where you can then just polyplane, and you can just do this, then go to Z modeler and just select the edge, and then you can extrude to create another face and another face and another one, and you can even move the points. By moving the points, you can then create a shape of what you like, any shape, and then next you can just mesh it out just to create a thickness. So it's quite clever. It's good for props, for like doing like masks and things like that, and helmets and stuff, which I'm planning on doing soon. So if you want to see me design some prop masks, I'm thinking about doing that next time. So you are more than welcome to see that on my next live stream. Okay, so insert. I like to put polyframe on. With this, you can take the lines off so you don't see the mesh. This is what it's called. All these lines that you see here, that's called a mesh. And this shows you how good your surface is, like how clean it is. With this, you can see there's lines coming down it because it's not on dynamic, it's not divided. There's so many options, there's so much that I can go into with this that it would actually take forever to explain. So, Cylinder 3D. Just have this sort of straight coming out of it. And I'll insert a line in the middle. And then there. And then mask it, reverse. And then we'll use the gizmo to scale this out a bit. So that way the shape is more tapered looking. You can make a squared one or a cylinder or a round one. You can create any shape, but for this one I'm just doing a sphere kind of shape, a round shape for this one. Again, I'll insert some lines so that way I can keep the shape. And now we'll insert another cylinder. So this will be the part where you turn the tap and then it just comes out of it. So I don't want it too long, so I'll insert a few lines, and then I will use the bend curve tool, which is quite cool. I quite like this tool because you can bend things. You can add as many of these dots as you want, so that way you have more to pull from. But with this one, I don't really need to do that. I don't need to add as many. It's enough that I can just add maybe 4 just to create this curve. Also, you can even mask it. and just use the gizmo to pull up or down, and just to kind of make it more rounder in shape. Also want to make it a bit smaller at the front. A lot of different mask options that you can select. Mask pen, mask lasso, or mask curve, where you can just get like a straight kind of squared mask. But with this one, it's more like a pen. There. It's lasso. Oh, it's a lasso one, sorry, it's a lasso one that makes it more like a pen, where you can just select different areas and go around it and stuff, which is quite good. Like I said, it's just all about tweaking the design, going back and forth, selecting things, changing it. So now I'll create the top part. So now we can create the shape for the top lever bit to pull. So you can create whatever shape you want, basically. If you want more out or in. I want mine a bit rounder, I would say. So I think maybe that would be alright. And now I would insert, that was a cube 3D. So this will be for the lever to pull. So that will connect to this part. We'll insert multi. You can also add them to the ends of this, because I just want it a bit more squared, like that, so that way I can then start bending it with the bend curve or even masking in Gizmo. So I want to create this part coming up like that. It's such a cool tool actually. There's so much you can do with it, it's quite fun. So like that. And what we can do is make this more out, so it's wider. And thicker. Right, like, I didn't really like that shape there. I want to kind of make it less bended, more, less round, I mean. So like that would be perfect. And create the thickness. Nice. Okay, so now I think I'm going to create the bottom stand for it to sit on, because I think it would be nice to have a stand for it to sit on. So insert cylinder 3D. Yeah, Zbrush is a really cool software. There's so much that you can do with it. You can design basically almost anything you can design, from home decor to glassware to props to toys to jewellery. The list goes on. And with the use of 3D printing, makes everything a lot easier. And I love about this software as well that it's not like the CAD software that you get. It's a lot different. It can actually do a lot more than what the CAD software can do, because you can actually sculpt, and I'll be showing you that soon. You can actually sculpt and pull things out, and it's like clay but in digital. It's a lot of fun. So I want to create a kind of tapered stand, just a simple stand. That way it's more tapered out. And I want to create a line in here and another one. And with the inside, I want to kind of push it in a little bit, so that way it has like a little seat thing for the jar to sit inside. Can't close it completely because there has to be room for this to go inside, obviously, because it can't be like really small and tight where you can't actually put it in. And there can't be too much of a gap, just slightly, so that way you can just place it inside. This is quite cool as well. This is a ruler that you can use like that, and it has like all the different, you can even do this to get rid of the design, or even to move the design as well, and to measure how much. So for instance, this is 3.6, which you can see up here in the units. There's a lot of options, so there is. Accidentally squished that at the back. There. to smooth this a bit on dynamic, so that way you don't really get these lines on the surface. Same with this one, you can see there's a little bit of kind of lines, so I want to go up so that way you can't see it as much. Also with this up here, I want to pull this bit a little bit down. Okay, so now I think we should create the design on the surface of this. You can obviously design whatever you want, but I'm just going to design something a bit simple, to be honest, something simple. So I'm going to try to insert some leaves, well, to create some leaves using a sphere 3D. And just by squeezing the sphere, and this time I'm going to use symmetry, so I have to activate symmetry, make sure I have it on both sides and it's in the middle. That's one of the most important things. So I'm going to try and create just a wee simple leaf, roughly. And this is quite cool because you can use the move brush. That's one of the brushes, the sculpting brushes, and you can just pull out to create the shape that you want. And even use the smooth brush by just using shift to smooth out the piece. There's so many options. I have move infinity, which lets you move the front and the back at the same time, and standard brush, which is good for like detail and things, which I'll show you in a minute actually. So I'll use move infinite to create this sort of shape. I don't want it too wide, so I just want skinny thin leaf. And I think I will use damn standard. And with this, maybe turn off symmetry. And this will let me create, like carve in to the design, or even carve out of the design, like that. It's a cool brush. That's where you can start creating detail for jewellery, for anything really, just detail. So the H polish brush, just to keep the edges nice and flat and tidy. That way you get this nice sort of thickness and shape to the leaf. Actually, with that one, you could use symmetry for that part, so activate symmetry. So that way I have both edges that I'm working on. I don't know if you can see in the background, but my cat's sleeping on the bed. He's sleeping away. I don't want to disturb him. He's been sleeping for ages on the bed. I never get any peace with this cat. He's all the time wanting to play. Even when I'm working, I'm all the time distracted. So I want to try and put this on the surface, which will probably have to bend and stuff, so that way it's right on the actual surface of the jar. The chat's really quiet today. I never know really when to do live streams. I try to pick a good time that's good for the UK time and the USA time, but I'm never really sure when is actually best. So yeah, I want to start to do more live streams, more regular, maybe every day. Hopefully it will come to that, so I can actually grow with this and have more confidence live streaming. So that's the plan, to do more live streams in different designs. Even if I can't finish the design, I still just want to sit and just do this so you guys can see. So right now I'm just kind of moving the leaf, just creating a kind of bent surface on the jar, so it's not like completely flat, because there's no leaves that are flat, that like with shape. They're mostly bent in some way because it's organic. So now I will just duplicate this design to create 3 of them, but smaller in size. You can create different designs on this, but I just wanted to do something sort of quick and simple. I'm really good with Art Nouveau, I think that's what you called it. I can never say that name, Art Nouveau. Art style. I'm really good with that, with bending the designs and creating twisty sort of designs on the surface. I'm good with that. And I'm hoping to do more things like that soon when I start going into the props and things. Because I find that more fun, and also I can be more creative that way as well. Because this is a miniature, it doesn't need to be a miniature. You can scale it up to be a big prop size, any size you want basically. You're not limited by that. The only thing that you have to change is the thickness, obviously. But I want to create more prop designs because it helps me be more creative in that kind of sector. Because with miniatures, everything's small, so you've got to do the detail to the shape of the actual design, and you've just got to be more careful on the design that you put on the miniature shape. Because either way you won't see it, because it'll be too small or it'll be too big and it'll take over the shape. So there's differences in that way. But there's obviously not a problem to design anything, any detail on miniature designs. You just need to adapt to it basically. Change the size and the thickness, stuff like that, but it's not a problem obviously. So I'll select this, and I think I'm going to mirror it and weld it so it's on the other side too. This one in the back. There. So that way it's exactly the same distance and it's beside each other. I might actually move them up a bit because I want to create another sort of design below it. Okay, so the next part, I'm going to actually insert a plain 3D for this part. Might move this down a bit so I have more room. And we're just going to extrude this out and just move the points just to create the shape as well for this design. I want to actually create thickness here. Some sort of thickness. Try to bend this so that way it's touching the surface. I just want to create some sort of kind of leaf effect design here. I like to use Dynamesh because it helps me get a better shape with this. So I want to make the surface flat. And just give it nice flat edges just to create a better shape somehow. It really is just like using clay, but in digital. That's basically what it is. But I've never sculpted before, the traditional way, not digitally. So I've never tried that before, so I don't really have any sculpting basically experience. The only experience I have is on the Zbrush. But you don't need to have sculpting experience the traditional way rather than this way. You can learn this way. Just so that way it's sitting on the surface a bit better. And then you can just use the move brush just to kind of shape it a bit better. I just want to kind of expose the edges, the flat edges of this a little bit. You can even use the crack brush to create the detail as well. Which helps if you want to, like, for instance, do rocks with cracks on it. I also used the crack brush for the Bentley House project, the Beetlejuice dispenser. I used the crack brush for that to create the cracks on the gravestone of the soap dispenser. If you haven't watched that video, you can go ahead and check that out as well. That's on my YouTube channel. The collaboration with Bentley House, where we designed a Beetlejuice project, a Beetlejuice bathroom, basically. And I designed some of the bathroom products for inside of the bathroom. And I did the Beetle dispenser, and I did a towel, and I did a medicine cabinet, and a towel rack, and a sink as well, and some extra soaps. But it was a really good collaboration and I enjoyed it. And I'd like to do more things like that. I'm just gonna move this just to kind of create nice detail, like tidier, that is. And you could be tweaking this all day. You're not just trying to get it right. So you can just basically go about tweaking it and just making it more tidier, straighter. So I'm going to start with the cup. Also, it's quite good to put everything in folders at the side here, which is called subtools, where you have all your shapes like your leaves, your jar and everything, but it helps to create a new folder and but it helps to put everything in folders though, because it keeps everything tidier. Okay, so now we're going to create the cup. So now we're just going to create the size of the cup. And now we will use the insert multi-edges and interactive elevation to create the shape. So I'd like something like that. And we will delete the middle. So that way we can then extrude Q-mesh to create the thickness. Okay. We'll flatten the top and then we'll insert lines. And slide that up. I think I like it better this way. And now I will add spilt. And put this at the bottom, and we'll put that in a new folder which will be cut. So now I will then create a leaf to put on the surface of this cup. Like I said, you can add basically whatever you want on this, but I'm just going to create a simple leaf and just use that for the detail. We'll have it on both sides. You don't need to make it as thick as this, the way I've done it, but it's up to yourself, whatever way you want to finish it. So I'm going to add a straw to this, and then that should basically be us, and we can maybe put some colour to the design on ZBrush. Just so that way it's just sitting on the surface. On the cup. You could even put a wee table underneath it, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to put a cube below it, just so that way I know the pieces are flat on a surface. So looking good. I like it. So now I think we can maybe add some colour, and that should roughly be us. Like I said, you can just sit and just tweak it all, fix it, go over the detail more to get it more straighter and tidier. You know, it's things like that. Things like that matter for production and for 3D printing, and that's what I still need to get the hang of, that I still need to learn so I can be more confident with this kind of stuff. So I think I'm going to put the colour on then. So I want to go a kind of green colour for this. Then maybe make this kind of yellowy. I haven't used the colour, I haven't put colour on design for a while, so that's why I'm a bit slow with this, so just bear with me. the cup, I think a nice light colour would be nice. And I think the straw would be a nice colour. I need to practice more with the colour system because there's so much you can do, like so many colours that you can pick as well here. It's quite useful. So you can go light green, darker green. I'd like to make this a light colour, probably have to go back. Nice, I like it. I want to put this as a different material. It's quite good because you can use different materials here as well. Gold, droplet. I like the startup material the best. With this, I want to change it as a different colour. So a green colour. Nice. I like it. Looking good. I love it. So there you have it, my drink dispenser. I hope you guys enjoyed it. So I think it's time to end this live stream. I hope you all enjoyed me designing this drink dispenser. I actually think it looks pretty good. But of course you can spend more time and sit and work with it and do more with it. And just keep tweaking the design and stuff, making it look better and the shape better and the detail. And you can spend as much time as you want on this. After all, you can prepare it for 3D printing, which is a fun part too, in this process where it becomes a physical piece, and that's always magical. So, like I said, guys, remember to get your discount from Elise Little Things shop, which is in the description of this video, so it's below this video. So get that now, because tomorrow it won't be available. It's only lasts until tomorrow. So please don't forget that, because you've helped me a lot by subscribing to my channel, and that means a lot. So that's me saying thank you by giving you guys this discount. So thank you a lot for subscribing to my channel. So thanks for watching, guys, and like I said, I'm planning on doing more live streams soon, so keep your eyes open for updates. So take care, everyone, and I'll see you all in the next live stream. See you all later then. Bye.